One of the best things about mountain biking is that there is always something new to learn or try and conquer. Now that could be a new skill or a new section. But in this video, we're going to be looking at skills. So whether you've been riding for 1 year or 100 years, here are a few of the great basics that I think we can all learn to help progress our cycling. First up then is one of the most basic skills. It is the trusty trackstand, but it is actually still pretty tricky to learn. Now, it is called the trackstand because track cyclists, they use it to balance at the beginning of a race, and it is essentially staying virtually in one spot with both feet off the ground. Yes, balancing on the bike, and here is exactly how it's done. How do we trackstand then? Well, this is exactly how. Find yourself a fairly level piece of ground to start with, because that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. And it's essentially then a combo of shifting the bike backwards and forwards whilst the pedals are level and brake control. So you can see there, I was starting to lean in a bit. So what I did was pull the bike back towards me and let go of the brakes at the same time. And then I just maybe creep forwards. And then look, if we pull the bike back a bit, there we go, back. Just get the pedals, little hop there just to correct. And essentially all I'm doing is micro movements all the time between shifting the bike backwards and forwards and releasing and pulling the brakes at the same time to stop it just rolling away, because you want to try and stay still. Now we all know what a wheelie is, the art of balancing on just the back wheel whilst pedaling along. But it can be a tricky skill to master. Even just being able to get the front wheel up can be really, really useful. Now, we've done some great, really in-depth videos on how to wheelie in the past, which you can check out in the description below. But this is going to be a brief overview on just how you do it to hopefully get you along the way. Okay, so start with a gradual uphill. That's going to make picking the front end up just that little bit easier. Go for one gear slightly harder than what you normally would, because when you pedal, you need to follow that stroke through. Crouching into the front of the bike, when I pop up, I'm going to stamp on the pedals, follow the pedal stroke through, lean back, and hopefully it should look something like this. Hey, there we go. Now I'm covering the back brake at the same time because that's your safety net essentially. If I start to go too far back, I'm going to grab a handful of back brake and it's going to drop the front end down straight away. Practice makes perfect here, just to get that balance point of when you're going to go a little bit far back, you'll feather the brake, it'll just bring it forwards with a pedal stroke, but you'll get the hang of it. Practice makes perfect. Blech. Possibly the most fundamental skill in mountain biking is, drum roll please, the bunny hop. Yes, it forms the foundations of a lot of different skills. Jumping for one of them, but it also helps you overcome obstacles, maybe change direction or unweight the bike through rough terrain. It's a really, 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 really useful skill to learn. I can't stress it enough. And again, we have got a ton of mega in-depth videos linked down below for you to really dive into the intricacies of just how to do it. But for now, here are the basics we're going to zip on over so that you, again, can get started with such a great skill. Crouch down into the bike and explosively pop up out of the frame. Pick up the front wheel and push forwards on the handlebars. This is going to help to pick the back end up as you scoop your feet into the pedals to really help lift up the back wheel. The endo, the art of balancing, well, essentially just on the front wheel. Now this can be stationary or moving, and it's a great skill to learn because it's going to teach you really good brake modulation, but actually out on the trail there are some practical applications for it as well, for slowing down suddenly and also changing direction really quickly. You can pick the back end up and move it around. How do we endo then without getting a face full of gravel? Well, here is exactly how. Going along at a fairly steady speed on solid ground if you can, soft is even better. The gravel that you can see I'm on here can be a little bit tricky sometimes because it'll be loose under the tyre. Going at that steady pace, you're going to cover the front brake, and as you pull the front brake on, you're going to shift your body forward so your chest goes over the handlebars, just like you can see now. And shifting that and pulling up, like by scooping back on the pedals, is going to lift the back end up. Now what you want to watch out for here though is obviously you don't want to go too far forward. So if you feel your body going far too far over the front, let go of the front brake and the back end will drop down straight away. You can't have a trail without turns. Turns are great fun, and let's face it, straight lines, they're a little bit boring. There are loads of different types of corner out there. Flat turns, rutted turns, berm turns, off camber corners, you name it, they're all out there. They're great fun, but a few basic techniques can be learned to help you tackle those turns. And here are those techniques. To begin with, do all of your braking before the corner. It's better to come in a bit slower and carry more exit speed than to have to brake in the middle of a turn. Look at the apex of the corner as you approach, and then through and down the trail as you get closer and begin to turn. Try to lean your bike, not your body, on flat corners. It can help you drop the outside pedal for more grip. When it comes to berms, your body and bike should be perpendicular to the angle of the bank on the berm itself, and try to keep those pedals level. There we are then, we're done. We've come to the end of the video, and those are 5 skills that I think are pretty essential to learn to help you progress in the world of mountain biking. Have I missed any though? Do you think there are a few more essentials out there? Well, if you do, let us know in the comments down below. But as always, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Until next time, see you later.